Hello, this is Bobby Tewksbary with AB Athletic Development. I just want to take a look at this Albert Pujols clip and begin to describe why my hitting philosophies have changed over the past few years. Um, this clip really surprised me when I watched the first time because of the relationship between the rear hip and the hands. Um, I, like most kids from where I grew up, had always been taught that the hips and hands would go together. Um, Obviously, this is contrary to what Ted Williams said about the hips leading the hands, but the greatest focus of instruction um, seems to be taking the knob to the ball, um, keeping the hands up, staying on top, hitting the ball through the middle, which are all good things. But when I saw this clip of Pujols, I was again really surprised and I guess convinced that everything that I knew about hitting with regard to mechanics had to be adjusted. Because if Albert Pujols, who is, if not the best, one of the top hitters of his generation, was doing this, then something had to change. Something about what I knew about hitting needed to change. So I'm just going to scroll through this clip and start to point out some of the differences in what I saw when I originally watched this clip. Um, I'm not going to play this through entirely. The actual clip will be available either above or below this video on AB's webpage. So you can look at that to see it through, and this will just be a frame by frame look. So through this part of the clip, there's nothing really crazy going on, at least nothing originally that I thought. Everything changes from right about here, and the wording that I came up with at the time, which was about 3.5 years ago now, said the elbows moved independent of the hands. Now that's just the wording that I came up with at the time, where if I go back and forth right here, you can see that the back knee and the hip turn forward. The hands, I'll keep the mouse right where the hands are, hands actually go up a little bit. Rear elbow lowers, left arm goes up. He starts with his left arm really high anyway, but there's a turning of the hands that occurs as this front hip orients itself forward. I had always been taught that if we just focus on the rear hip, if we just stare at this rear hip, when the rear hip starts to turn forward in those frames, that the hands should also be going forward. That's what I was taught. That's what, if I did a demonstration of, the basics of hitting, you get your feet shoulder width apart, bend your knees, shoulders over the toes, get the bat somewhere between your shoulder and your ear, all the cliche phrases that you'll get at clinics and instruction. If you get set up in that way, you'd get the foot down early and take the knob to the ball, take the hands to the ball, and there's no mention of these frames. And this is the beginning of the change that I initiated with what is taught at AB Athletic Development. It changed everything about how I look at hitters. So I just wanted to, again, highlight this, where the hands, if we look at them, the hands are moving. I'll put my mouse on the top hand, or the bottom hand right here. You can see it goes up a little bit. The top hand is definitely moving. Rearward, you can't see it in 3 dimensions when you look at video, which is one of the hardest aspects of studying video, is you're only dealing with 2 dimensions unless you have front view, side view, rear view of the same clip, which in this case we don't. The top hand is moving towards the third base side dugout. And the thing that I did not notice for so long was the direction of the barrel and how the barrel is moving when the elbows are moving, with the phrasing, elbows move independent of the hands. So the barrel movement in relation to the hip movement was what really initially confused me and caused me to study Pujols and Manny and Cabrera and all the great hitters, anybody that I could get video of really, and has really taken my knowledge of hitting mechanics to levels I never imagined. So again, the hip turns forward and the hands are actually moving backwards in relation to his body. They're going rearward towards the dugout behind him. If we look at a front view, we can go to contacts right about there. At this frame rate, contact would happen, or the pit from where the pitch is released to contact would be typically 12 to 13 frames on a fastball. So we can see if we go back 13 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He hasn't done any of this stuff early. So the ball would be being released in this frame and his foot goes up, which is another thing that I battle with what I believe and what is most commonly taught. So his foot's going up, he's getting forward with the pelvis closed, hips closed, and the swing initiation, when I expected to see these hands moving forward with this hip turning forward, did not happen. And that's where I came up with the wording, elbows move independent of the hands. I did not understand what the barrel was doing at the time, but this is the clip that really shook up my world in terms of mechanics. I'm going to look at it one more time. Two more times, sorry about that. So the hands stay up and back, turn, while the back hip turns forward, and the pelvis, the whole pelvis, not just the hips are the joints. So this is the rear hip, this is the front hip, and then we have the whole pelvis going across, where the whole pelvis is forward while the hands stay up and back and the barrel turns. So this is the clip that started all my research, made me look deeper, made me spend as many hours as I did researching video. Just like when I was a player, I spent all the time in the cage to get the feel and to make myself a good hitter with what I knew then. This is the clip that changed everything. This is the clip that challenged everything that I knew about mechanics and what I had always been taught, really. And this is in no way a disrespect to the coaches that I've had or the influences I've had throughout the years, because I've had amazing coaches who I greatly respect. But this is something that I strongly believe in. This is something different than what I was taught, and I believe that hitters of all ages can benefit from learning what Pujols is doing, which we'll take a very close look at with many more videos, and look forward to sharing what I've learned. So this will be the last time. Here we go. Hands up and turn, rear elbow down, left arm up, pelvis forward, rear hip turn forward, and then we've got this nice deep barrel path to the ball. Thank you very much. Look forward to making another video and discussing some more aspects of this swing. Thank you.